What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the Therapist Lounge. I'm a therapist who games, and today we are talking about Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And let me tell you something. This game was absolutely amazing. We're back to basics. You know, if you've watched the channel, you've seen my videos where I talked about just how far off the deep end the Resident Evil series has gone. It went from Resident Evil to Evil Residence. After part 3, I went off and really thought to myself, this just doesn't seem like Resident Evil anymore. You know, the story just got a little bit crazy. But when I sat there and played part 9, I said to myself, this is the Resident Evil I know. This is the Resident Evil that I grew up on. As you guys know, 1, 2, and 3, classic survival horror. 4, 5, and 6 went the action route. You know, just random viruses. It just viruses. And then they changed it up with 7 and 8. I didn't play 7 and 8. First person, mold, and all this. I was just like, I was even a little hesitant about part 9 because I was like, is this just going to be more of the same? You know, more of the path we're headed down? But I said to myself when I found out that it was a third person, I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a shot. And let me tell you, I thought I was playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 4 Remake. Both games slapped together, both amazing games, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. The game puts you in the shoes of Grace Ashcroft, the daughter of Alyssa, you know, who was in Resident Evil Outbreak. Another one of the games that I truly enjoyed, and I'm really hoping that that game is remade. But to get back to my original point here, Resident Evil 9, the first part of the game, spoiler alert, I'm telling you right now, let's get into the spoilers here. The first half of the game, when you, or not the first half, but the first portion of the game, when you are playing as Grace, it really gave me Resident Evil 2 vibes, Resident Evil 2 remake vibes. You know, going through this mansion style building, this facility, dark corners, you know, having to really take your time to play, not knowing what's coming around the next corner, zombies jumping out, feeling overpowered and underprepared. That there were really times when I was playing where it was just total chaos. I'm just like, you know, you're just going through this facility and you're just really winging it. You don't know what's coming up. You don't know if you have the firepower for it. You've got to think on the fly. You've got to, you know, shoot a zombie in the leg, push him over, run out the way. You don't have the bullets to, you know, get into a firefight here. It really is fight or flight. You know, you just have to go off of your instincts. And there were times I was playing this game and I'm like, I don't know how the hell I just got from here to there, you know, with just this, you know, with 6 bullets, you know, and one of those, you know, I can't remember what it's called, but you use it to make sure that the zombies don't mutate after you take them out. And then the game shifts focus over to Leon, and it feels like you're playing Resident Evil 4 again. You know, it feels like you're playing the remake with the combat and everything. They did such a great job. It felt like Leon was just fighting all the bosses. You would go through, you know, this mansion style with Grace, and then they switch over to Leon, and now Leon is there just kicking ass and taking on bosses. It just seemed like every time we took control of him, it was a boss fight. And man, it took me 17 hours to beat this game. I did not want to put this game down. And every time you felt like, okay, maybe here comes the end, bam, they put more on your plate. You know, you go from the facility, and then first of all, before we get into that, I gotta say something. In the beginning, I was like, what the hell is this? Why the hell would the FBI send Grace by herself to investigate these murders? Right off the bat, it was like, hey, people were dying, you know. It just seemed like a poorly organized investigation, didn't it? She walks up, there's just some police tape, one cop, and then she walks up in this grimy ass hotel with no backup. Didn't look like she had any combat training. And she finds herself deep into some trouble right away. I said to myself, I said, why? What? Who organized this? You know, like, I don't know. And then you go through all of that stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, on the flip side with Leon, why the hell are you going into this situation by yourself? I don't know. Those were some situations where I was like, you know. But outside of that, I thought it was great. Because like I said, you go from the facility and then you go over to, I want to say, I'm trying to recollect here, but you know, you go through that, and then you know, Grace goes through all of that just to go off with Dr. Gideon and Zeno, and I'm like, all because we had to shoot the little girl. You saw her mutate. What the hell? You saw this girl mutate into a zombie. Leon had to put her down. You know, he had to do what he had to do. And then all of a sudden, she's just like discombobulated. I don't know. He's like, we gotta get out of here. She's like, no. Then she just wanders off and goes with the bad guys, the people that were trying to cause her harm the whole time. I don't get it. They go to Raccoon City. Leon goes to Raccoon City. And let me tell you, going through Raccoon City, the ruins of Raccoon City, man. You know, some folks were like, you know, the bomb, you know, when you're trying to gather the parts for the bomb that was drawn out. I thought it was great. I thought it was great the way we just got a chance to just be in Raccoon City. And then after we did that, you go on this crazy dope ass action style motorcycle chase, taking on these new zombie wolf dogs. That was great. And then we get to Raccoon City. We get to the Raccoon Police Department. Man, that just felt so nostalgic, man. Just all these years later, you know, as somebody who played the original Resident Evil 2, you know, just walking through that and seeing it and remembering, like, you know, I used to know the RPD map like the back of my hand. I knew exactly what office connected with this one and so on and so forth. And to see like what was left of it, to see that there were still zombies kind of roaming around. And then when Leon killed one, he was like, rest easy, officer. Like, yeah, you know, these were, you know, your comrades, even though he never got a chance to meet anybody because, you know, first day on the job, he's, you know, getting into some shit. But just that experience of going into the RPD, bam, you're like, wow. And then just when you think it's all said and done, you go into the orphanage, and then you're going through the ruins of the, it's just a lot, man. And then we make our way all the way down to the Umbrella Facility arc. And then going through there was a journey. I am like, there is just so much to this game. And like I said, the part with Grace, it was terrifying. Like, there were times where I was just like, man, like it was a very scary you know, survival horror. And then, you know, there were some times with even Leon where I'm going through, you know, you're not sure what's coming up and whatnot, and you know, but with Leon, you felt a little more ready for action. But yeah, playing with Grace really felt like playing Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 again. You know, just giving me that sense of fright, you know, and anxiety, not knowing what's coming up next, really taking my time, you know, taking corners very slowly, you know, preparing myself for what might be around this corner. It was great. What a great experience, man. And I just wanted to come out here and just share my share my experience. You know, I'm not going to get into the gameplay and all that stuff, because if you're watching this video, more than likely you've played it. You know, graphics are amazing. The mechanics, the RE engine is just phenomenal. It's damn near perfect. You know, the way they switch between the characters, I thought the pacing was really good. It wasn't like one of those The Last of Us 2 situations where you're just like, oh, that was awful, you know, but it was very well done, going back and forth between both characters. So anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think. Did this feel like classic Resident Evil to you? I thought it was great, a great experience, and you know, you guys let me know in the comments. But I'll catch you guys next time. If you made it to this point in the video, I appreciate you. That means you rock with me, and that means I'll see you next time. Till then, peace.